Call to order. The Park Board of the City of Connersville is now in session. We'll have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Sharon.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's do the roll call, please.
Harold Gordon,
Here.
Jeff Cooley,
Here.
Sharon McQueen, here, Scott Kefever,
Here.
Dane Lashua,
Here.
and Kirshner. Here.
All right, and let's go ahead and move on to reading of the minutes, please. Any additions or
I
questions?
made one correction, I already gave it to
Oh, did you? Okay, what was that?
Holcomb with the O instead of an A.
Okay, yeah, I didn't see anything else. Anybody else have anything to add on that?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as corrected.
I'll second that.
Okay, everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, minutes are good. On to new business. First order of new business. We want to talk about field reservations for travel teams and the rates. I think we got a, did you put that in there?
Yeah, it's in the packet.
That's what I thought. There it is, I got it. Okay, I think we're gonna have Mike talk about that a little bit, I think.
I am.
Is he?
Well, you should have in your packet the rates. Yeah, come on up, Matt.
Is this a proposal or is this set in stone? Is this what I?
This is to be voted on to see if we send it to the Board of Works to make it part of the ordinance.
Okay, I didn't know from some information that I had received that there was a policy for this that I was not aware of prior, and I wondered if this was a new one or just simply a rehash of the one that I just wasn't aware of as far as this was concerned.
As far as we're concerned, there was something put in place before. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
there was never an amendment made to the ordinance, which is what we need to do
Okay.
to make it all correct and right.
Okay.
You want to talk about how
Yeah.
this came upon and who's on the committee?
Sure,
committee and all
so
that?
last week, the baseball committee all got together, and we discussed what everyone thought a fair rate would be. And this is just for travel teams. We want to make that really clear. This is just for a travel ball team. We defined a travel ball team or baseball or softball that is not affiliated with the Parks Department rec leagues.
I have a question on that. This year it is not an issue, but in years past, we have had all-star teams, which have been taken from the rec league players. In essence, they are a separate entity. And
No, they
are-
would be covered under the Babe Ruth Charter,
They
so
would be
they
tra-
would not be a travel team.
They would not be defined as a travel team then.
Correct.
So our all-star teams would not be subjected to this.
Correct.
Right.
A travel team is a team outside of a rec league or outside of a team covered under that Babe Ruth Charter. They carry their own insurance. They make their own travel schedule. There's lots of them around.
Oh, yeah. That's
That's
all
what-
that's all there is this year.
Right. That's what we defined as a travel ball team. And what was very important to everyone on the committee was that there was a lower rate for a team that had local kids and a higher rate for a team that had non-local kids. So the committee decided that a local team would be defined as half or more of the players were from Fayette County. A non-local team is half, 49% or less, are from Fayette County. So the rates decided upon was $25 for 2 hours to practice for a local team, $50 for 2 hours for a non-local team. A scrimmage game would be $60 for 2 hours, local or non-local. And then you can see the tournament fees there too. And then we also included what that would include. So if you do have a scrimmage game, that would include having the field dragged and lined, the bathrooms would be opened, but the umpires would be the responsibility of the teams that are renting.
This is any field time that we have after our rec leagues have practice time.
Right, what we were envisioning was that month of March, before our rec leagues really get on the fields. Travel teams are already practicing like February. We could use it then. Our rec leagues usually in the end of June. We've got July, August, September, October. We've got lots of time that travel teams are still going. And we could let them on if it fit in during rec league. I don't know when it possibly could because they'll be so busy. But I'll let Mike and Matt give the committee's perspective. So
We feel that they're reasonable rates. And any time that, if you're a coach of a travel team and you want to reserve field time, should have to pay for that. What goes along with it is getting the field drag lined, and getting them ready for practice. I know a few weeks ago there was some discussion, I can't believe the park is charging people to use the fields. We're not. It is still a public fields. Kids go down, play on the fields. This is only for people who wants to reserve a 2-hour spot that nobody else can play on other than the travel kids. I know we did some research for other cities, and these are very reasonable compared to Batesville, I know for sure, and we can't touch these prices in Annapolis. So we feel that's reasonable and should work out well. And like you said, when the season starts, it's not even an issue. This year, it's an issue because the fields are pretty much open now. No one's playing on them, but we feel that when the season starts next year, we're going to be, our local kids will be on the fields, and there'll be very little time to even lease out the fields in the first place.
Catherine, a team that rents out a field, are they gonna put a poster on the field that this team has rented this field, or?
they'll have a receipt, so it'll work like any other rental. So what will be required with this policy will be a copy of the team's certificate of liability. I have to have that for the team to be down there for our insurance. We will also have to ask for a roster of the team members so we can determine if they are a local or non-local team. And then they will be provided a receipt for their payment. So the same as when you rent a shelter at the park, you go down there with your receipt, and if somebody else is on the field, say it's, Mike down there with 3 kids, you can say, hey Mike, this is our receipt. It shows that we've reserved the field, and then he would have to leave. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
I think there was a lot of misunderstanding, because we just had no rec leagues this year. The only thing we had was travel, and nobody had ever paid before. But this, and any Babe Ruth sanctioned event would not be applicable to them at all.
Correct.
Okay.
There was a lot of misunderstanding caused by social media.
People who didn't know what they were putting out there, so.
And from our perspective, we're not trying to deter anyone from getting on there.
No.
It's just, if you look around at Batesville and Greensburg and Greenfield, these places that have really, really nice facilities, this is what you have to go through. So I think it's pretty fair. If you figure you got 12 kids on a travel ball team, $25 for 2 hours, $2 a kid.
Well, one of the social media people was saying that she had a son that was playing on that, and it was perfectly normal for the travel team. Again, this is something that's an anomaly for us this year. We've never had to deal with this, because we've always had the rec league, we've always had the all-star team. So for our kids, the only option they had this year was to be on a travel team. So created a whole new set of issues.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it sounds like we've got most of our questions answered. Mike, Matthew, thanks for coming in and talking about it, appreciate it.
Thanks.
Anybody give a motion to accept this?
I'll make a motion to accept it.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the addition to the ordinance, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. Ordinance accepted. Okay, and you're gonna present that to the Board of Works, correct? Or are
Board of
you?
Works, city both, or just?
Well, I'll be on vacation, so Mike offered to present it. That's fine with me.
Board of Works or city council?
think it has to go to council.
Is it
Yeah, the council has to put the, if it's a fee, they have to okay the fees.
Okay.
okay? You know when that is?
July 6th. I will be on the beach. I will not be at city council.
I'll text you every hour.
Please don't. I might text you
Oh,
backwards.
you haven't got the memo where all vacations have been canceled due to COVID?
No, but we're supposed to go to Disney in October, and as if that's not stressful enough, they're now making you reserve. So we had the park hopper thing for the week. They're now making you reserve what park you want to be at what day.
Oh, boy.
And I'm just like, stresses me out.
Yeah.
Like, so the kids are supposed to be at home right now looking at all, because the boys were too little to remember. Lauren's never been. They're supposed to be like researching and deciding like what day do they want to go where, and I'm like, well, we don't know. Like now we can't just wake up and be like, let's go here, you know. Anyway, I
But the
digress.
People of Orlando are just very happy that they're open again.
Oh my!
Because it's been a ghost town since March.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Disney is a wonderfully stressful place sometimes.
Sometimes. All right, do you want to go ahead and go on into our superintendent's report, please?
Sure. So for May, our revenue was $7,400. Our expenditures were $131,467. We had a lot going on this month. We opened our pool, which a lot of places did not open their pools. Really, it seemed like a lot to get started, but now that we're underway, it doesn't feel like that much work. Now I know Amy and Peyton and Avery, they've been a huge help in getting that pool open. But we opened on Monday the 15th. I believe we've hit capacity every day, at least for some period of time. We brought in almost $1,200 since Monday. Not a lot of issues going on. I think people are being good about the new rules we have to follow for the most part. Summer camp continues to go well. Friday was our first pool day. We had 47 kids at camp on Friday, which was a lot of kids to take to the pool, but they made it through. We've been very fortunate. We got an $1,800 grant from Reed Health, and that has allowed us to offer a free fitness summer. So we've got yoga on Wednesdays, Zumba on Tuesday, and Pound, which is it's like an aerobics class, but you use rip sticks, which look like drumsticks. So all those classes are free to the public. We are still looking for someone to teach water aerobics, so if you know anybody, call the Parks office. It is a paid position through this grant funding. And then another free camp we're able to offer thanks to Laura Rickman. She contacted us and said, I'd really like to do something with soccer, and we got together, and she's going to be offering a free soccer clinic. It will be held July 21st to the 23rd from 6 to 7:30 out at the soccer complex. We're working on getting something similar set up for baseball and softball, so hopefully we'll be able to offer at least some things sports-wise. And then toddler time is going to get started again next month, July 17th at 10:30, and then we have Mutts of the Nickel Plate Trail coming up in August, partnering with the Connorsville Veterinary Clinic. So lots of things going on, lots of activity.
Anybody have any questions for Catherine on that?
Where are they doing the fitness classes?
At the pavilion. They're all at the pavilion. had really good turnout too. I think there were 25 at yoga.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And that was just the first, it just started last week, so.
Okay. All right, if no other questions for her, we can move on to our sports director report. Where's your suit and tie?
Oh,
I just got done working, so I didn't have time to put it on.
Oh, okay.
You know, right now, we've got church league softball starting up as of this week. Then we're taking signups for, that we've been doing the last 4 years, machine pitch softball. Looking at possibly 10U and 16U, and depends on what the numbers are of signups, as if we can change the age groups around a little bit, you just never know. And like she said, Laura Rickman, she's gonna have that clinic for the soccer. And we're still waiting and checking on a few things for baseball to possibly have kind of the same thing. And maybe in July also, but nothing's yay or nay on that right now. And then we've also got, signups for fall soccer also. I've got a deadline of Friday, August the 14th for signing up, and maybe possibly starting September the 5th. That'll give everybody close to 3 weeks of practice time if we can get everything in by that deadline.
How long does that season last?
They usually play 6 league games and then about 8 weeks.
So this 8 weeks will take it into November. Did it like that?
Pretty close.
Yeah, maybe October.
so you said that was the machine pitch? It'll take about,
No, that was
That's
soccer.
soccer.
Okay.
Machine pitch, we never know, it depends on how many teams you get and everything, and where they're divided up at. And then, by the way, also, just so that everybody would know, machine pitch is the only league that's going on, and it's been that way since Daryl Drew started it, is you do not, you can sign up just like normal, but you also don't have to. Coaches can just actually build their team and sign up that team. They don't have to come in and go through a drafting period. Because this one's mostly all about developing fast pitch compared to the slow pitch that everybody's been playing for the years.
so do you see a fast pitch softball coming
Yes.
this year?
No, not this year, but probably within 2 or 3 years, we ought to be
Okay,
right on track with having our leagues turned over to fast pitch completely.
okay.
So, I mean,
Even the younger ones?
Yeah, like 10U, because that's what they play. It's fast pitch too. It's just, and that's why we like to do the machine pitch leagues, because 10U, a lot of times pitchers are not really good, so kids are scared to death of batting. So, and it's all new to probably half the kids that's been playing, because they've been used to the either coach's pitch or slow pitch, which is really slow, and to transform them over, I think the machine pitch is probably the best way, because it throws
What's it?
90-something%
Yeah.
strikes.
In the baseball field, when you change from coach's pitch to kid pitch, games get longer.
Well, they get longer, but also it's like, I don't know, baseball kind of sort of like the softball drops off there a lot too.
Yeah.
Coach's pitch, you've got 8, 9 teams. When they transform over to kids pitch, you're looking at 4
Half.
teams, so almost half drop off by the time they're playing kids pitch.
I've had several parents, before the virus hit, that said, my son doesn't want to play because he doesn't want to get hit by a pitch, and I guess I just wish you could do something
That's
Right.
what- that's
machine
what-
pitch for baseball.
I know, well, I know years ago, they
Yeah.
used to, even that, when you first transformed over from
Y'all learn
coach's pitch to
sometime, though,
that,
I guess.
they used to divide that up. It was 3 innings of kids pitch and 3 innings of machine pitch.
Oh, really?
And that also speeds the game up with a little
Yeah.
bit with,
Hmm.
cause
It worked out very well.
yeah.
Did it?
Yeah, I fixed that league,
That's been,
so.
See, I don't know when it
Talk
actually
about that.
changed over to just all kids pitch, but I would like it to be half and half.
Really? Well, that's something we can talk about with the committee. How to,
Well, it was a lot more exciting.
yeah.
The kids can actually hit
We
pitching
kinda get a
machine.
taste of
Yeah.
both,
A lot
yeah,
of kids got ground balls. When
Right.
the kids are pitching, it's strike out or walk, pretty much.
right,
That's it.
Yeah.
right.
And it really saved a lot of, I remember that, it really saved a lot of those younger kids' arms too, because their technique was not good and they were overthrowing, so it was hurting.
Yep,
And they didn't like that, but that machine is pretty cool.
that's right. And most of the kids, maybe when they first see it, but when they get in there and they learn real fast that they're not gonna get hit by the pitching machine,
No,
and they're building up their
well, they
confidence.
can, but it's because they don't get out of the way themselves. No bases on balls with them.
Right, that's right.
You know,
Well, let's talk about that with our committee.
Okay,
Thanks,
thanks,
Dennis.
Dennis. Okay, on the old business, the work list.
I tried to give you guys, did everybody get my email? Okay. I tried to give you guys an update, not only on what we had done between the last board meeting and this one, but also where we're headed for the rest of the summer. We have a bit of an ambitious list, but I think that we'll be all right. But so far, since our last meeting, the highlights have been the tennis court. We are this close to getting that thing done. It's involved painting that entire stretch of the south fence, setting the posts, well, laying it out, having the holes drilled, setting the posts, stretching the fence. That's all completed. So now we are just waiting on the seal coating company that comes in with the sport surfacing to do the courts and stripe the courts. We will also be getting the current pickleball court resurfaced to match the new one. Right now, the current pickleball, the posts were not set correctly when that court was done. So they actually have PVC pipe holding their net at the correct height. And this company, he came out and looked at it, and apparently there's a very simple solution, like with some different type of sleeve that he has, so he's gonna fix those. They are playing with tennis nets that are rolled up and zip tied. We're gonna get real pickleball nets, so it's gonna be an upgrade to both courts. So I'm excited to get that completed, and I know the pickleball folks are very excited to get that done. And then the pool, we put quite a bit of work in over at the pool. I know 99% of the community has never seen the basement over there, but if you could see the before and after pictures, that we've just really cleaned up house. I mean, they cleaned that basement out. We've cleaned out the guardhouse. I just think it looks fantastic. I'm so happy with where we are from last summer. There were lots of holes in the siding on the guardhouse. Those have all been fixed. All the old shutter windows have been replaced with siding. We put in it's not giant, but a large picture sliding window in the guardhouse. I just think it looks great. The lifeguards came in, they painted their break room. They've painted all the window sills and the doors. Just lots of upgrades over there. I'm really just thrilled with how it looks. And switching over to the bleach has worked out very well. The water looks great. Peyton says it's working just like it should. So
Isn't that saving us a bunch of money?
it will, after we recoup from
Right.
the chlorinator, it'll save us close to $2,000 a year.
Wow.
Yeah. Plus, it's just so much less hassle. So Mike's
Well,
going to be the pool manager when Peyton leaves.
Quite a lot less waste too.
Yeah.
Because they have tablets when you shouldn't, and sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
Yeah.
That liquid is pretty much added when it's needed.
And it's all automated.
Right.
You know, you don't do.
There's no human error with it.
Yeah, you don't
So,
have to.
And the chlorine was much more dangerous to handle than the
Yes.
bleach is, so it's safer for everybody.
And as long
We
as
just switched to liquid chlorine at the water plant, so, it is a lot better, a lot more potent too.
We just need to sell that old chlorinator and we'll be good.
Mike, can you sell it?
Sell the coordinator.
Okay. We could put it on, gov.com, it's a government site. that can
Gov.com.
Sell equipment.
I think that's what John Ozzie had told me,
Yeah, and him,
or
he has
eBay,
put some things on there for me.
yeah.
Well, I can say that, yeah, your guys have done a great job over there at the pool house, the lifeguard side. That looks outstanding. The basement is amazing.
It's unreal. It's
Yeah,
just,
I've-
there was just so much clutter.
Yeah, I've been in that basement last year, and to go in there this year, I was like, it was eerie because it was,
There were no frogs.
yeah, no skunks.
I mean,
Maybe
well,
that was
and just the guardhouse. I
Yeah.
mean, it has to be so much more enjoyable for everybody who works there to come in and have a nice place to be. And I mean, Amy's just gone above and beyond, you know, and she got to clean stuff out that's been bothering her, and you know, it's just. I just think it's great. It's so
They
much
did a
more.
nice
It's
job.
so much nicer over there. So. But unless anybody had specific questions about the work list, those were my two highlights, I guess.
All right, nothing else on the work list then? Okay. Move on to miscellaneous business. Anything there? Anybody? No? Alrighty. Need to look at claims and accept those.
I move we pass the claims of $219,261.02.
I'll second.
Second. Okay, and that includes payroll, so got an initial and a second. All those in favor? say
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay, claims accepted. And we open it to the public. Since we have nobody from the public, anybody make a motion to adjourn?
I'll move that we adjourn.
You got it first?
Second.
You got a second? All those in favor of adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.